At long last, the wait is over. It is about time for the 2025 NFL season. We're going to get it started right here on Fantasy Whiplash. Hey, what is up today?
Oh, wow.
That's right.
He's ready.
Right. You heard it. It is time for the 2025 football season at long last. I am here. Get used to it. You can find me on Twitter at Buy and Sell You. I am Samwise, and I am joined by the one and only Frickinator, Joe Frick, the walking ghetto blaster.
How we doing, man? How we living? How we feel? We've made it to week 1. I'm so excited that football is back.
It's so pumped.
It's been a long summer, but we finally don't have to talk about like the same 5 things as everybody in the industry's been talking about. Well, we can. It's still the same, but it feels different. It's better. There's real football. There's real injuries. There's real stuff. So I'm so ready for the ride. I'm pumped.
Yeah, this is an in-season show. So when Mike proposed to me that we start in the off season, I was like, "What, you want me to just talk about what everybody else is talking about every week?" Now we get to actually have games and recap games and look forward to games and pick players out, starts and sits and fades and all that kind of stuff. So, Joe, why don't you tell everybody where they can find your stuff, man?
Yeah, so I'm all over the place these days, but primarily you can find me at the same username on pretty much all social medias other than Reddit at JOEFRK. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Not on the TikTok because I think I'm too old for that. But other than that, I do a show on Wednesday nights with my boy Drew Hannis at Drew Hannis on Twitter. We do the Around the 412 Fantasy Football Show. I am also the director for social media and community at the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. So I chop up videos. I show up on their TikTok because I'm not that old. And then I also do a show on Friday nights from the forum, Q&A show with Tyler. Sam was there last week. He's so cool that he's running it back again this week. So
I will be there this week.
I may not because it's my anniversary and I will be at Cedar Point. So apologies in advance, but Sam will hold it down. So all good things for sure. But good to be here as always.
I've guessed I'll not talk too much. Why not?
So yeah, you'll be able to cover up for the silence that is there now that I won't be. So it works out good.
All right. Well, Joe's got plenty of stuff going on. If you'd like to learn more about him, you can read his best-selling novel. You can find me everywhere by Joe Frick.
Sleep is for the weak. Signed a new dad. That's great.
That's right. I want to thank everybody for watching. We got a bunch of live viewers on Twitter. And all kinds of social media and some people in the chat. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Jeff. You're rad. Jeff is rad.
So rad.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say, please do like this video, do all the YouTube stuff. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up, maybe drop a comment, after we go off the air. Anything like that. And starting next week, we will be taking more questions from the chat. So if anybody's got something poking around, starts or sits for the coming week, questions about injuries, we'll have lots of injury news, and so on and so forth. So you don't want to miss us every Tuesday, 9 p.m. We will be here answering the questions. all the hard-hitting ones.
All the big ones, and even the softballs too. We love the softballs, so you can throw those in there. Don't be afraid. We'll knock it out of the park. You'll be happy. We'll be happy. It's week 1 for all of us, right? I'm not trying to like tear up some vocal cords, pull a hammy on the chair. Like, it would be bad look for everybody.
Yeah. So we're right off the bat, we're jumping into a weekend that's got a Thursday night game between the Eagles, the defending champion Eagles, and the Cowboys. And then Friday in Brazil. You like that?
That was nice. That's a good roll.
Yeah,
That's a good roll for the Midwest, man. You got some culture.
I mean, I flapped my lips. Well, whatever. And then on Friday, we've got the Chargers taking on the Chiefs in an AFC West matchup. Beyond that, or including that, Joe, what are you most looking forward to for the first weekend of football?
Yeah, I think one of the more exciting parts about the season and the storylines that I will be watching was that last year we really saw a historical output from rookie quarterbacks. So we saw Jaden Daniels take the world by storm. Bo Nix kind of surprised everybody with what he was able to do. It felt like everybody that was in that draft class turned to gold. We're seeing some new faces with Ben Johnson in Chicago. They've stocked up and they seem to be ready for a big year, adding Colston Loveland on top of that offensive kind of what is expected to be a juggernaut there. So I really want to see where those quarterbacks in year 2 take that leap or what players are going to fall off. I think that there's a lot of value in those players if you're able to pick the right ones and hit it right. But that's going to be something I have a keen eye on going into the season.
Yeah, I think additionally, I'm excited to see, Cam Ward has just flown so under the radar for a rookie quarterback. They're usually just under the microscope.
For a first overall, it's insane.
Yeah, and nobody's talking about him. And nobody's talking about, whether he's having a good camp, whether he's having a bad camp, whether he's gotten a rapport with this guy or that guy. So I'm really anxious to see, because I thought Cam was a great college quarterback. He's very well composed under pressure. So I'm anxious to see him and what he does, as his welcome to the league, I guess.
Yeah.
Likewise, I'm anxious to see JJ McCarthy, since we didn't get to see him last year.
Sure. And that's the thing. Like, you look at that offense. I mean, what better of a spot can you walk into than if you're JJ McCarthy? You have a top 5 offensive line. You have a good running back in Aaron Jones. You have a younger kind of workhorse behind him in Jordan Mason, who was brought over by the team this year. You have a good tight end in TJ Hawkinson. You have the best wide receiver in the league. I don't care what fantasy analysts say. It's still Justin Jefferson all day. Then, I know you're mad about that, but that's fine. Then you're going to have Jordan Addison coming back on top of that. It's like, you take that, you have one of the best offensive minds in football kind of throwing you layups. What more could you possibly want for, effectively a rookie quarterback going in? So I think it's going to be, you have a lot of people that are maybe kind of hating on the JJ. That's me. I am a hater, but I love Kevin O'Connell so much that it's like, yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by him a lot.
Jeff says, how come everyone is talking about how nobody's talking about Cam Ward? Well, we're just trying to get we're trying to get more people involved, man. Like, I don't know, Tennessee. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Speaking of the Vikings, with Addison missing the first 3 games and Naylor injuring his hand, what do you think? How do you think they're going to approach that? Do you think the rookie Ty Felton is going to get some meaningful snaps, or do you think they're just going to try to ride Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason all the way down the field?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a scary proposition, right? Because going into the season, we had Justin Jefferson pop up on the injury list with the hamstring. For all that we know and what we've heard about, he should be fine. But if he were to also go down, oh man, what a bar. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
I love that. But if he were to go down and Ty Felton becomes your wide receiver 1 for at least a couple of games, like that's pretty terrifying to think about. So I do think he'll get some run. I think we're going to see a lot on the ground. I think the main beneficiary is going to be TJ Hawkinson, 2 years removed from the ACL injury. So he's going to be a really good play early on. And we'll see how that offense shapes up once Jordan Addison comes back. But I think that they have more than enough weapons to make up for it. Felton may see the field a little bit, but I don't think he's necessarily somebody that they're looking for on the boundary. So I don't think that even if he does flash early, it's going to be a prolonged role, which is interesting though, because if you look at Felton, he didn't get a lot of love as say maybe kind of like Isaac Tesla, who was also traded up for 3rd round guy. And that's all anybody seemingly wants to talk about anymore.
Right. Yeah. And he's having a lot harder time finding a space to play, really. You know what I mean? It's only when they're going to go 3 wide in Detroit, and one of their wides is pretty much Laporta.
Right.
So he's basically 4th on the pecking order. Yeah, I think that's exciting to watch, and I'm interested to see. There's a JJ McCarthy is a very polarizing player.
Right.
There seem to be some people that love him and a lot of people that don't love him and are just waiting for him to flop. And I guess my only thing is, everybody was waiting for Darnold to flop too, but when your weapons are that good, they can pretty much make anybody look good. As long as you don't lose the game, you're going to win the game probably.
Right. Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see. You're seeing that a lot more. I know Tom Brady, it seems like every year is having the same conversation where he's like, back in my day, like we had to dissect the defense, but I think there is some truth to that. I think that the college game, to some degree, for better or worse, the game is faster. They're simplifying the game, and you have players that are more athletic that maybe don't have the mental acumen that your pure pocket passer provided back in the day. But it's just the way the game is now. If you can hit that first read, second read in under 3 seconds, then that's all that we really need from you, So, yeah, I don't know. I get it, Tom, but if you felt that way, then go back out there and play.
Right, exactly. Go ahead and give it another shot, dude. Yeah, I like McCarthy too, because he didn't have, obviously he answered a lot of questions last year with the rehab and so on and so forth, but he didn't have a lot of like game situations where walk us through this, walk us through that. And I have noticed that just even in the last year of him being a part of the NFL, he seems to carry himself like an NFL quarterback. He seems to carry himself kind of like a leader. It doesn't look too big for him. So I'm interested to see how that turns out.
No, yeah, it'll be good to see for sure. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a big storyline for the season, most definitely.
Yeah. I'll turn it to this week's games, particularly on. Obviously we have an NFC East game on Thursday and an AFC West game on Friday. I want to, as much as I hate talking about the Chiefs, I want to talk about the Chiefs.
Got to talk about the Chiefs, man.
I have maintained most of this off season that they don't like losing. Mahomes especially. The egos on that team, they don't like it. So if you don't think that Super Bowl is still fresh in their mind, you got another thing coming. So I guess my question is this. They're going to be without Rashee Rice for the start of the season for 6 games. Hollywood Brown is healthy for now.
Right.
But Rashee Rice, Jalen Royals also probably going to miss week 1. Do you think they're still going to come out? Because I expected them to come out attacking big time to start the season, and they're playing in Brazil, and they want to give people on the other turf, something to watch.
It's one of those things, right? So I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. And usually the team that loses in the Super Bowl struggles a little bit. Now, I think that they have a much better team, at least from the offensive side of the ball, than they did last year. Isaiah Pacheco was playing basically coming off of the broken leg. They were without Rashee Rice, which, I mean, that's not anything new to start the year, but Xavier Worthy's had another full offseason with Mahomes. Travis Kelce got engaged and it seems to be in a lot better shape than he was. He was kind of beer bellied up at the start of last year. And so we think that from the offensive side of the ball, they should be a lot better. The hard part about that team, though, is that the defense is so good that it limits the amount of opportunities that they need to have to kind of be the attacking team, to kind of push the envelope. So is the defense going to be too good? And I think that will continue to be a concern. I think there's a lot of people that are pointing to, like Mahomes is going to bounce back this year. I'm still a little bit hesitant. I think from like the skill positions, I think that they'll be fine. But for Mahomes, I'm still kind of like treading lightly. He's going to make the smart play. He doesn't have to be the gunslinger that he was when he threw up 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. Also, what's up, Mad Dog? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Because I was just thinking about that yesterday, and I've been thinking about it most of the off season as well. Is that everybody really liked to play the detractor of Kansas City last year and say they're just not as explosive anymore, and they're all getting older, and this and that and the other. And I was like, well, they didn't have to do very much because that defense was nasty.
So
It
good.
it was really nasty. So, but I am kind of wondering, in the opening game after losing the Super Bowl, even if their defense plays well, are they going to come out and be like, "No, we're getting after it"?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they have to. I mean, the pieces that they have on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, at all three levels, they have some really good playmakers. I do always wonder about like these international games. I think just with the travel, the jet lag, all of the other extras, I feel like they're typically more low scoring in nature. So at least for this week, I don't see like I'm going to be taking the under if I was going to be a bet. Not a betting guy, but I would be shooting for that under. I think it's in the 40 somewhere. So wouldn't
Yeah,
expect.
I would imagine their first game at Arrowhead might be when they try to light up the scoreboard.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So it'll be interesting to see, most definitely. But yeah, it's that defense is nasty. And I think that's kind of been the key to their success, where it's like they can kind of control the clock. They can get after the quarterback by rushing 4. And then you just kind of let the defensive backs do what they're going to do. So yeah, I think that it's a negative for the offense for sure.
Yeah, I'll let that take it into Albert's question here, because the defense is nasty. Do you think the Chargers are going to have any running room with Najee, who is apparently ready to go, and everybody's favorite Omarion?
Yeah, I mean, there's been kind of a bit of talk from last year, from like this past week, that Najee is expected to be ready to go. We still haven't seen him really do a whole lot. I have doubts whether or not he's going to play. I know that they're talking about it, they're gearing up for it, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I do think that it's going to be tough sledding for whatever the spread of the backfield is. But I don't see a scenario where I'm not playing Hampton if I'm taking him in the 3rd or 4th rounds of drafts. He's going to get enough volume that I think even if it's not a most successful day, then I think that he's going to get enough of the work just because he's been the one that's been in shape. He's been the one that's doing things. So we'll kind of see how it pans out there. But yeah, I don't see it being like a big Najee day, even if he does take the field. And I'm not convinced that he does.
Yeah, I mean, even if he does take the field, I think we see him a little bit in between the 20s. But I'm not even sure that he's in the right shape right now. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure he's been working on the side a little bit, or lifting weights or something. But I mean, you can't just Nick Chubb your way into the lineup. You know what
No,
I mean?
no, you can't.
Um,
And he still, no one has even seen his eye. To me, that's crazy. If you recall last year, Cam Ward had that whole burn incident, showed up, played like that next day in a full mask. So, it's like it's
Well,
got
think
to
about when Julius Peppers blew his fingers off.
or no, Jason Paul-Pierre.
Oh, Jason Paul-Pierre, yeah. Another fireworks accident, and it was like days later, he's walking around like, "Yep."
I really don't get it. I mean, like, you've seen one firework, you've seen them all. You're getting paid millions of dollars. Just like let someone else do the dirty work. Like, it's just so easy.
Or like follow general instructions. Like set the fireworks down.
Oh yeah, but I think according to this whole situation, it was very much like there were multiple people that were in that environment, place, situation that got tore up. So whoever was the mastermind of this, like, keep your day job. Hopefully it's not a typing job because you probably aren't.
Fireworks at each other.
I don't know. It's weird times, man.
Well, that's one of those things where if you're in that situation, you go, hold on, we got a guy worth millions of dollars over here. Let's distance ourselves from him before we start throwing fireworks at one another.
No, yeah, it's absurd. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of effect he has on the game if he plays at all. Like you said, that didn't really cross my mind. I figured they would run him out there in some form or fashion, either just to get his feet wet, or I mean, even if he only gets 6 or 7 carries.
Right. Yeah. And I think it'll be very telling to see, like, if he's practicing at all or doing anything like that. Then it's like, if we don't see him practice this week, he's going to be a late inactive. I think they're going to try to get him up to game speed, but it's not easy to do. And yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not very convinced in this one. I have just a bad gut feeling about it.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, while we're at it, why don't we stick to some prime time here? Eagles and Cowboys, who you got? What do you think you're going to see?
Oh man. So this is going to be a really fun time. I think that the Jalen Hurts confidence from the Super Bowl is just going to come in hot. Dallas is in a very weird energy right now where they have all this stuff going on with Micah Parsons. There's not really a good vibe around Jerry Jones. I don't see them standing a chance in this game. That Philadelphia Eagles defense is so good. And I think that everybody's just banking on the fact that the Cowboys are just going to go out and just out offense everybody. But you're not getting a really good opportunity to do that this first game. I don't think that means that I wouldn't play, say, George Pickens, that I wouldn't play CeeDee Lamb. You're not going to sit those guys, obviously. But I do think that it's not gonna be the shootout of a game. I think that Philly runs away with it pretty heavy. I think that Saquon's gonna keep doing what Saquon does right off of last year. I think that Jalen Hurts has a big game, but honestly, they could just sit on the field and just hang out. I would watch it for 3 hours and I would be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. And the one thing you didn't even mention is that besides Parsons, I think that entire defense took a step back this offseason anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
So they're just going to make it that much easier, I think, on the champs. So Monday night, of course, we've got McCarthy and the Bears. Or McCarthy versus the Bears. We kind of talked about JJ already. I guess we're anxious to see if Caleb Williams is going to take that big second-year step.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of pressure on Caleb coming in. I think that there's a lot of doubters that are saying, hey, he struggled in camp. There's all this and that going on. And people are like, did they mess up? Is he a bust? The world that we live in right now, you don't have 2 or 3 years to figure it out. It's what can you do immediately? You have this rookie contract, go do something with it. What's up, Angie? And What has he done with it so far? Not a lot. Now, he had flashes. If you look at like top 6 finishes in the quarterback position last year from a fantasy perspective, he actually fared pretty well percentage-wise relative to the rest of the league, relative to where he's been drafted. But nobody cares about that. I mean, Justin Fields been a QB6 whenever he's on the field, but is he going to have a job after this season because he can't get it done in real football? We'll see. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Bears, especially if they don't come out of the gate hot. If they lose these first couple games, everybody's gonna be like, oh, well, maybe Ben Johnson isn't as smart as we thought. Maybe Caleb needs to get his life together and find a different sport. Like, it's going to spiral very quick, and there's not going to be a lot of
especially with that many weapons on the team. That's the first thing that the average fan points to. Well, he's got all these guys to throw to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Last one. Baltimore is visiting Buffalo on Sunday night. Battle between Lamar and Josh Allen. Both going to use their legs plenty, I'm certain. What do you think for that one?
That's going to be the game of the week. I'm so pumped for it. This is going to be, like, you talk about 2 contenders coming out the gate, a lot to prove. You have Lamar on his kind of revenge tour because he got snubbed for MVP by Josh Allen. Josh Allen to be like, hey, no, like, this was mine. Let's go get it. What's interesting to me about this matchup is there's a lot of people in the fantasy space talking about, oh, like, Baltimore, they gave it the second most points allowed per game. Like, this is going to be a smash matchup for Buffalo. However, if you look at what happened about halfway point through the year, Baltimore was bleeding, like, to the point of like Cincinnati's like defense, but they made some changes about halfway through the season with the way they deployed Kyle Hamilton, and that defense became a lot more locked down. So it was one of those things where it was like, hey, they made these changes. If you look at the season-long numbers, it doesn't necessarily reflect that. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be as high scoring as we think, but I do think that it's going to be a fantastic game. So we'll be all good there, and I'm super pumped for it. So it'll be good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be an exciting one. I'm interested to see if it's still Khalil Shakir in the passing game for Allen, or if, once again, they've got new pieces, but it's nobody that's like particularly thrilling. So you kind of wonder what they're going to do with the offense this time around.
Right.
Or if it's just going to be more of the same as last year, where, they throw the ball when they have to throw the ball, and it's just kind of whoever's open, gets it. I know that sounds simplistic, but that really is kind of their style. Last year, it was just Allen and Cook running the ball, and then if they had a 3rd and long, they were looking for somebody.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I think we'll see a lot of that again this season. I'm cool with that. And yeah, it's gonna be a great time. I'm so fired up.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really good game. And as much as I hate the Ravens, I love watching Lamar play football.
For sure, he's so fun, and it's one of those things too. It's even more fun because he got passed by every team in the league. The Ravens came up and got him, and then it was like, all right, like, we're gonna commit to the way that this guy plays football because it's so dynamic, and he's really changed the game, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're about up to halfway now. I want to do a quick bump here for anybody that's not played Fast Draft. Most of these season-long Fast Drafts are filled up. They're shut down. You can't get in anymore. But we did add a DFS game, which is a lot of fun, and also a Fast Six Frenzy, which is kind of like DFS but without a salary. So it's a lot of fun, and they're like $1,000 tournaments like every Sunday, you know what I mean? Like repeating throughout the week, where it's just you and 10 people going up against, and somebody's got to win. Somebody's going to take home the money. And, as always, we don't do any rake on Fast Draft, which is extra special, but I'll let the Podfather tell you about it.
I know your sad draft season is over, but just because the NFL season starts doesn't mean the drafting stops, because FastDraft has the Flex 6 Frenzy. You're drafting 6 guys for the Sunday slate against 9 other competitors. It's fast, it's furious, it's fun, and as with everything on FastDraft, there are no salaries. Woo! So go to draftfaster.com, get the app, use your host promo code for a $50 deposit match. Now let's go start drafting faster.
Every time he goes to that, like, let's it gets me every time. For anybody that's watching that wants to go on FastDraft and try it out, you can go on and put in promo code WHIP. It will match you up to $50 on your first deposit. You could put in 10, you could put in 25, put in 50, but it's your first deposit. You'll get a match, which is like free games. I mean, the games aren't even expensive on there. So it's inexpensive to play, and just depositing a couple bucks, you're in for several tournaments. So Joe and I are going to talk about, well, I guess I should mention, I got a jersey here next to me, and I think I'm going to give it away. I don't even know how many people are in the chat. There doesn't seem like there's a whole lot, so somebody is going to like,
and lucky.
Is all they have to do is answer a trivia question correctly, and I didn't even make it a hard one. So we're going to get to that in a minute, but Joe and I are going to talk about some of our preferred starts and fades for this weekend. Obviously, it's week 1. You're going to start your studs in fantasy football.
You have to.
You got to play the guys with the big name. It's always so weird on Sunday mornings. Or like, should I start AJ Brown or should I start De'Ami Brown?
But Sam, the Philly Eagles pass the ball less than anyone else in the league.
Yeah. But anyway, so we'll start talking about that, and I'd say maybe we'll both give our one of our favorite starts of the week, and then before we do the fades, maybe I can find somebody to pawn this jersey off on. I mean,
are we gonna find out like what the jersey is, or is that gonna be a surprise?
Well, I mean,
just give us the team.
You want me to tell you what it is now?
Just give us the team, or maybe it's like a Joey Chestnut jersey. So
I'll give you a team. It is a team in Los Angeles.
Ooh.
All right. And it's autographed by said player. And it's a pretty well-known player. Joe, why don't you tell me somebody this weekend, let's say we're sitting down to do lineups, maybe you're at your flex and you're trying to decide between 2 guys you took in the middle rounds of your draft, both lots of upside, but who's got a matchup that you're really looking after this week as somebody that you're already thinking, I want to plug him in right away?
Yeah, so I think the one for me this week is going to be DJ Moore. If you just look at the upside for him, there's a lot of upside there, just as far as like yards, as far as receptions, as far as touchdown potential. I'm really enjoying what we can see there. So I think for me, DJ Moore is a smash play. We talked about how there's going to be a lot of pressure for Chicago going into this early part of the season. I think by feeding Moore, then we are good there. So let's just make it happen and see where we roll with it. But I think that they're going to use him heavily. There was a lot of talk in the offseason about, hey, like they're using him in different places. What's up, Vince from Down Under? And so they've been like, oh, well, he's going to be a pass catcher. He's going to be running the ball. What are they going to do? Why are they doing that? because they want to get DJ Moore the ball. People are way overthinking this. They're like, oh, he's a running back now, like it's Rome season. No, they're trying to figure out the best way to get people the ball, So they're going to get him the ball, and it's going to be early and often.
Yeah. Do you suspect that DJ Moore is still going to be but like head and shoulders above the other receivers in that offense this season?
I think it's going to be a good 1-2 punch with him and Rome. I do think that Rome takes a step forward for sure, but I think that DJ Moore is still going to be the guy. He's my wide receiver 15 on the year, which I feel like is higher than a lot of what people have there. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for him. So let's see what we can do with it. And I think that they're going to lean on DJ Moore early and often, and Rome kind of develops as the season's going.
Yeah, I think for me, I was gonna mention AJ Brown earlier, but I've already said his name like 3 times, so it's almost like he's on my brain.
Right.
But because of what we discussed with the fact that we think Philadelphia can control that game, I think, and AJ counts as one of your studs. You're going to start him regardless.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Deebo Samuel in Washington. And I'll tell you why. It's because he's the one thing in that offense that's completely new. You know what I mean? That wasn't there last year. Everybody knows about McLaurin. They're used to what he can do. They're used to Eckler coming out of the backfield. Obviously, Brian Robinson is gone, but they've got a couple other guys that'll run the ball as well. It's definitely a committee situation. But considering, Washington's setup, I think they're going to try to utilize Deebo the same way that he had the most success with San Francisco.
Yeah, and if you look at what they did last year without Deebo, they were a heavily screen-dependent team. And you're taking somebody that's really great at that, right? So, I mean, I think it was a great fit for them. Obviously, they have the money to burn. They even had a little bit left over for Terry as well, just to give him that new money. But yeah, I think it's a really good fit. I do wonder how much of his struggles last year were because of him catching pneumonia. Kind of a big thing. Like, it's not like an easy thing to recover from, even if you're out of the hospital and have elite healthcare. It's still going to be a lot. So, yeah, I think he could be a good hit. He's not somebody that I'm excited about, but that like wide receiver 16 through like 40 feels just like a wide open place. And I just want to take as many dart throws as I can for that.
Yeah, I'm particularly interested in that game because they're playing the Giants. And the Giants aren't going to win any beauty contests. But they've got their front 7 is actually really underrated. I mean, they're going to be hard to move the ball on just between the tackles. So I'm going to look for Washington to be dumping it outside. 2 specialized plays to Deebo, 2 Austin Eckler, and those kind of guys. And, they might pull a couple tricks, might have a couple tricks up their sleeves. So I got a question here from Angie. Their second to last draft of the season, probably the last standing standard league. Do not get us started, Joe. It's a decades-old league. Do you have some late-round picks that you particularly love?
Yeah, I think the one that immediately stands out to me is Ollie Gordon. So Ollie Gordon, he immediately came in. If you think about like this past draft year, we said it was the year of the running backs. He was supposed to be the headliner of this running back class, right? So coming into the year, like Ollie Gordon, Heisman hopeful, RB1. His breakout season was at the young age of 19. So it's not like he's got a lot of tread on the tires. He struggled a lot last year. Why was that? We don't really know. But he's somebody that I feel has already surpassed Jalen Wright. It actually gives me a little bit of pause about Dylan Sampson. Is that Tennessee Volunteers offense just kind of like a speed run? And if you can run fast through this hole, like then you're successful? Because Jalen Wright looked absolutely awful. Can't stay on the field. We already know that Devon Achane is banged up with the calf thing. calf injuries really scare me. I don't know if it's because I've watched too much basketball, which is not fun for anyone. That's not true. I like basketball. But to me, you're one misstep away from an Achilles injury, which would make Ollie Gordon immediate bell cow back in that offense. So for me, it's like, hey, like, you got to do something there with that.
Yeah, I agree. And 2 years ago, I don't watch as much college as I do NFL, but I'm always aware of what's going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Ollie Gordon, man, when he was kind of that Heisman hopeful, I was all in, man. I was like,
sure.
I love this guy. This guy's fun to watch, man. I can totally see him. If a chain stays banged up, I can see Ollie Gordon, and his ADP is flying. He's gone from basically undrafted up to in the neighborhood of like the 8th round.
Right.
So he's jumped up a whole ton. Look at Angie. This is awesome because I already took him.
Hey, Angie knows ball, so she's doing it just to help her friends. She doesn't even need this advice. She's just doing it for the love of the game.
Ball.
She does it for the love of the game.
I will say, and I don't think either one of us is being terribly imaginative here. So the guy that I've been beating the drum for, and I'd like to say I've been beating it a lot longer than some other people have, is Woody Marks. I was all in on Woody Marks from the jump, and that was before the Mixon injury. I was like, he's gonna get plays out of the backfield. He's shifty. He's elusive. And if he ends up, if Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb and Dameon Pierce is Dameon Pierce, then what the hell else are they gonna do? They got to put Woody in there and let him do his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like it. Yeah. I think another one that sticks out for me, I'm a firm believer of where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's just been a lot of weird energy around the Jets this season. And you can get Braylon Allen for being, I would consider a top 5 handcuff in the league. He doesn't get drafted like one. And I think it's because of the concerns for the offense. But if the rumors about Breece Hall are true and he is either getting traded or has lost the step and could lose the field, I don't believe in that. I still think that Breece Hall still has some tread on him.
Yeah,
but I think if it's one of those things where you find out, and if Braylon Allen's getting that action, then you see a trade or something like that be there. I would like to have him on the end of my bench.
Well, that was a very strange situation, because when the idea of a trade rumor was kind of floated around, all of a sudden everybody was all in on Braylon Allen. They're like, man, he's gonna take over big time. And then even after the trade talk kind of died down, the coach still said, well, I think this is a 3-man backfield. And everybody's like, yeah, Braylon Allen. but then as soon as all these drafts started, it's like everybody forgot.
Oh, yeah, no. It's been very odd. Like, I would have thought that over time that it would have grew, and it's just been kind of just, they're like, I think part of it is the implied win total for a team like the Jets. They're not expected to do a whole lot.
Right.
So I think it's hard to find running backs that are going to be successful in a situation like that. But somebody that's playing in a Justin Fields-led offense that's going to have the check down opportunities, I feel like that could be more of an exception to the rule.
Yeah. He says, Vince says, Ogunbowale season. I actually posted something on Twitter a couple weeks ago. I was like, man, Houston fans are going to be big mad when this guy emerges to like lead the backfield. Actually, I said fantasy football fans, which is also true.
Yeah.
Can you imagine running to the waiver wire for Ogunbowale?
Hey, man, weirder things have happened. It's crazy how just the smallest bit of hype can carry people to the crazy.
It's amazing.
I even think this whole Bill Krosky-Merritt has gotten so far overblown. Like people are drafting him in the 4th round, I guess, like for fun. But it's like they're people that like they're in industry, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like this guy hasn't played really in a year. 7th round pick. There's 3 other like it's the running back of mid in there. So
The
it's just like
3-year freshman. A 3-year freshman that has 7 catches in college.
Yeah, it's like it'd be like running out to like a Devy league and drafting that 30-year-old wide receiver.
Right.
I don't know, it's weird.
Well, we might revisit him a little later on anyway. I think as long as we got a couple people in here, maybe I should just get rid of this jersey.
I mean, yeah, I think I just want to see it personally. I'm very curious about it. So you could at least flash it a little bit.
Well, it's an authentic practice jersey, complete with the elastic cuffs and
wow,
jazz. Kyron, his little KW down there. It is authorized. It is hologrammed. It is the whole 9 yards. And I have an easy trivia question.
Is it easier than the one that I offered up?
Sort of.
Okay.
You inspired me.
Yes.
Last year, the highest fantasy point total was scored by a player on November 7th, and that was Jamar Chase with 33.2 points.
Always got to make it about the Bengals.
Like, it just happened that way. So my question for you guys, first one to type it in the chat correctly gets the jersey. Just giving it away.
You got to do it correct. So if they spell it wrong, it doesn't count.
Oh God, yeah.
Is that what you're saying? I just want the rules out there.
No, I'm just saying you got to get the player right, and you got to be the first one to put it down.
Okay.
So here it goes. So who scored the most fantasy points in week 1 of last season?
Ooh, let me see. I'm trying to think. I won't say it out loud. I don't have a guess at all. And you're talking PPR, right?
I'm talking PPR. It is not Taysom Hill, and it is not Lamar Jackson.
Oh man, now I need to look. Stats. Let's see.
It was not Rashid Shaheed.
Ah, yes. Of course.
Come on, guys. I mean, just think about, well, that's pretty good, Vince, but not quite. Just think about who had, a really nice season last year. There it is. Jimmy! Saquon Barkley. Congratulations, Jimmy.
30.2 points.
Yeah. You win the jersey, buddy. You can either find me on Twitter at @BuyAndSellYou and send me a message, or you can send an email to admin@fantasywhiplash.com. And I'll get all your information and I'll send it out to you, man.
So do you know who was second?
Who was second?
Jaden Reed with 33 points.
Yes, I know. Barely.
Like Saquon got tush pushed one extra time and just won homeboy a jersey. That's crazy.
I actually considered making it who scored the second most in week 1, but we'd have been sitting here till tomorrow.
And what's crazy is Jaden Reed did that on 6 targets. He was 4 for 138, had a touchdown, 1 rushing attempt, 33 yards, and a touchdown. That's
amazing.
Absurd. It's absurd.
Amazing. And he's going straight to Canton
to get his foot fixed.
for his birthday. Angie, you're lagging behind. Chase scored the most of any week last season, but Saquon Barkley scored the most in week 1.
Jamar Chase was 28th in week 1. He was 6 for 62 yards, no tutties. And yeah, that was really it. 12 points.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't
Bengals
panic.
are notorious slow starters.
But you can't panic after the first week. That's like the big takeaways. It's like,
Yep.
because if you look back, it was, everybody was right about Jaden Reed. Anthony Richardson was QB3. There's all this stuff. And it was like, oh, man, like we don't know what we're doing. And then it all kind of evens out. So you can take advantage of that.
Nico Collins looked like Offensive Player of the Year.
I mean, he did that for a few games, but we'll see.
Till week 6.
Yeah.
All right, let's do. We're coming up on the end here. We got about 10 minutes left. Give me somebody that you are fading hard, and I don't care what level they're at. If other people are starting them, if they're a stud, even somebody you're fading hard.
Yeah, so I think the one name that comes to mind for me, which is a shame because I am very excited about his 30-year-old breakout season, but that is Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley has a rookie quarterback going against arguably one of the best defenses in the league in the Denver Broncos. He's also more than likely, because they don't really have any offensive weapons beside Calvin Ridley, going to be shadowed by Defensive Player of the Year Patrick Surtain. Fading him pretty hard. I still have to do my ranks tonight, but I would probably try to find a spot for him on my bench if I could. Realistically, you took him probably in the 6th-ish round, so you should have some options there, but right. I don't feel great about him at all.
Yeah, I wish I had that luxury because I was not seeking out Calvin Ridley in a lot of my drafts.
Sure.
But he just always happened to be sitting right there when my pick came up. So I have an awful lot of shares of him. And I'd say probably only maybe half of those am I going to be able to sub him out for someone with that talent. But yeah, Surtain scares the hell out of me anyway.
He's so good. He's so unbelievable.
He's such a good player. My God.
So good.
So I'm gonna go really easy, and you kind of spoiled this for me. The Bill from Capitol Hill.
Little Bill.
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. The depth chart for Washington was released today.
Well, hold on, Sam. Let's just pause right there real quick, because from what I heard, my coaches don't even always do the depth chart.
Okay.
So do you buy into that, or do you think that like he's actually where he is on the list?
Well, let me ask you this. Conversely, do you think Jeremy McNichols was always the number 2?
No. I mean, by definition of being a last name of McNichols, you should be number 5.
Right. So that's what it is right now. It's Eckler is 1, McNichols is 2, Chris Rod is 3, and the Bill from Capitol Hill is numero 4.
Yeah.
So I'm fading him. I didn't draft him anywhere, but I'll save my I told you so's for after their game.
Have you seen his props too? Like his over under on rushing is like 20 yards.
Yeah. Dude, Vegas knows what they're talking about.
Vegas does know a lot.
They know quite a bit. All right. Well, we're right up against it, and I got to be completely honest with you guys. I have a draft starting in 6 minutes.
What?
I do.
What's your pick?
Well, it's a league where we keep 2 guys.
Okay.
So
and is that keeper is it just like your first 2 rounds, or is it okay?
Yes, it's first 2 rounds. It's not value.
Gotcha.
I am keeping Jamar Chase And I'll ask you this. If you had Trey McBride and Brock Bowers on your team, which one are you keeping?
Yeah. So for me, I have Trey McBride as my tight end 1 on the year. Brock Bowers is a super far distant tight end 2. Not actually. I think that they're very close, but I think that we've seen McBride be successful for multiple years, and he's done so much with only 6 receiving touchdowns in his career that it's like, all right, like I feel good about what he could potentially be doing. So for me, it's like hey, I'm going to take McBride all day. I feel more comfortable. A lot of his points last year actually came in garbage time, which they all count the same whenever you're in fantasy. It doesn't matter. Blake Bortles, Allen Robinson, shout out to my garbage kings of all time. But I think I just like Trey McBride. I also didn't think I'd be talking about Blake Bortles and Allen Robinson from way back in the day, but here we are. I know that there's concerns Vince just mentioned in the chat about Kyler Murray. I'm not worried about Kyler all that much. I think it's more of a concern for Marv and like what Marv's ceiling is. But when he rolls out, they have that chemistry with McBride. I feel pretty good about it. And they don't really have a firm number 2. So it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, I would keep McBride. I always struggle in situations like that because if you don't keep him, depending on where you're at in the draft, you're probably not getting him back.
Yeah, no, because we also have the option in our league to say, I want to keep nobody.
Sure,
and then you get to draft in those 2 rounds before all the dual keepers get to draft. So Bowers is going to go off in the first round, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Along with like Genty and the rookies.
Right.
So,
do you feel like
that's what I did as well. I figured, I'm confident that McBride's going to do it again. I also think he can score more touchdowns this year than he did last year.
Sure.
So I'll take that gamble. But yeah, so I'm off to draft. Everybody who's in the chat, thank you so much for coming in tonight. I will remind you all, please do like the video. Please feel free to drop any comments or find us on Twitter. I am at Buy and Sell You. Joe is at Joe FRK on Twitter. You can find him at the Fantasy Sports Advice Network and myself on Player Profiler. We appreciate you guys coming in. And Joe, you want to leave them with anything else?
Yeah, man, just have fun. Don't get too concerned about what happens in week 1. Football's back. Sam's going to crush his draft, and I'm sure we'll be talking to y'all soon. So have a blessed Tuesday, and we'll be back pretty much. Not me necessarily, but this is here every week this time. So get ready. It's going to be popping in the season.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Good luck this week.